to the instructions that show how much batter to load in your waffle maker. We may hate the thought of consulting a manual or calling for technical support, except perhaps in a pinch. But can you really operate all these things simply through intuition? Relationships are complex too, yet we often attempt them with a minimum of guidance and support. I'm not suggesting you should follow a standard set of 1, 2, 3 steps in relating to your partner. Relationships will never come with manuals that automate the process. We aren't robots. What works for one couple won't necessarily work for another, but neither does it work to fly blind, as many couples do, and expect relationships to fall into place. Hence the need for well-informed guidance that supports your relationship. And what might be considered well-informed in this context? In fact, a large and fascinating body of scientific knowledge and theory with the potential to influence how partners relate to one another has been accruing in recent decades. This includes revolutionary work in the fields of neuroscience and neurobiology, psychophysiology, and psychology. I believe couples can benefit from this wealth of research. You may find this idea intimidating, but don't worry. I'm not suggesting you need to quit your day job and go back to school. I think you'll find the basic theories quite straightforward when you hear them explained in lay language. In short, it's my conviction that having a better understanding about how our brains function, in other words, how we are wired, puts us in a better position to make well-informed choices in our relationships. Scientific evidence suggests that, from a biological standpoint, we humans have been wired largely for purposes that are more warlike than loving in nature. That's the bad news. But the good news is that recent research suggests a variety of strategies and techniques are available to reverse the predisposition. We can, in effect, take steps to assure we are primarily wired for love. These strategies can help us create stable, loving relationships in which we are poised to effectively diffuse conflict when it arises. So why not make use of them? In the first 3 chapters of this book, I provide you with general principles drawn from cutting-edge research to help you understand what makes a relationship successful and work toward that with your partner. The chapters that follow expand on these principles in practical ways. For example, if you have a clear sense of your partner's relationship style based on the latest research, it will be easier for the two of you to work together and fix any problem that may arise. In essence, this book can serve as an owner's manual for understanding yourself, your partner, and your relationship. Now, you may raise your eyebrows at the notion of an owner's manual. Your partner isn't property, after all. I couldn't agree more. However, I like this metaphor because it conveys the level of mutual responsibility and detailed knowledge of the relationship a couple needs to be successful. In fact, I would propose to you that all couples do in fact follow one or another set of rules and principles in their relationship. They may not be conscious of it, but they already have an owner's manual of sorts. Unfortunately, many couples have the wrong manual, and in the case of distressed couples, they always have it wrong. In my work with couples, I've noticed that partners tend to form their own theories about the cause of their problems. They do this out of distress and despair, and out of their need to know why. Why am I in pain? Why am I feeling threatened or unsafe? Why is this relationship not working out as expected? Partners work hard to come up with answers to such questions, and sometimes their answers provide an immediate sense of relief. Now I know why this is happening. However, in the long run, these theories generally don't work. They aren't sufficiently accurate to help the relationship. They don't stop the pain. They don't alter our fundamental wiring.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.